Hello and welcome to the joinDOTA League Season 2. This is going to be a best of 3 between OsG and mYi. This is going to be in the Division 1 to 2 playoffs, and the team that wins this will continue through the playoff matches and be a little bit closer to moving into the Premier Division of the joinDOTA League for next season. And the loser will probably have to stay in Division 2, unfortunately. But enough of that. I'm GrandisV, and I'll be your main caster for today, and I'll also be joined by Oxiled. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself? Well, you already said you're doing pretty well. Anyways, looking forward to some pretty good Dota. Going to get into this game quite soon. Just getting the first picks and bans going.
Your mic is a little staticky. I'm not sure if you have the right one selected. Maybe try to fiddle around with that in Skype.
Sorry. Yeah, we'll do real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, sorry about that. Well, looks like we'll just get right into this draft. It's progressing a little bit slowly. mYi or mYinsanity are taking a little bit of time in these next couple of bans. Well, they do have first pick as well. OsG are going to ban out the Tinker to start things off, not wanting to deal with Tinker. Very good at delaying the game, very annoying to play up against, and definitely can understand that being a first ban coming out from them. Their drafter actually just disconnected, so we might have to have a remake, unless he's able to get here very quickly. Well, let's see how things progress, but hopefully that won't be the case and we'll be able to get into the game before too long. Doom and Brewmaster taken out by mYinsanity. No big surprises there. I'd look for OsG to ban out the Batrider here. And there you go. So it looks like somebody else has taken over the drafting seat. So we should be able to proceed at least through the draft and hopefully... oh, excuse me. It is Bucktop that has disconnected. Well... No, this might be problematic, and it looks like we are going to disconnect from here. As another one of mYinsanity's players has disconnected. Hopefully that won't be the case, but it looks like we are going to have a remake.
10 seconds to go.
We're going to restart this one?
I think so. I haven't seen anything in the chat so far, so I'll just proceed as if we're not going to have a remake. But it looks like mYinsanity are having a little bit of troubles here. Well, honestly, I'm not sure what we're going to be doing.
Oh, good.
Well, actually, the drafter is back in the seat, so they are going to be down a little bit of the reserve time, but we should be able to get this first pick and the draft proceeding without any interruption, so hopefully that's going to continue smoothly.
All right, is my mic coming through a little bit better this time?
Well, it's still a little tinny. Oh, no, you should be fine. You should be fine.
All right. Okay. Right. Well, then, let's... just get into this, I guess. So there was that disconnection, but they're going to go ahead. Maybe they'll just restart afterwards if he cannot disconnect in the meantime, but we'll see that as it comes. I think we'll be okay for the pick ban phase.
Yeah, well, Mirana picked up first by mYinsanity, but OsG going to quickly respond with the Shadow Demon Centaur Warner, denying the Shadow Demon pickup from mYinsanity, and also Centaur Warner combos very well with the Shadow Demon Disruption into Double Edge with a Hoof Stomp on top is just so much lockdown and burst damage if you're able to get the Soul Catcher on top of that as well. So if they do decide to run that as a dual lane, that is an option, but more than likely OsG just going to run the Centaur towards the off lane and Shadow Demon as a defensive support in the safe lane. mYinsanity are going to get their hands on Screen Protector, however.
Yeah, so that Screen Protector, you know, I've actually not seen him as much lately. Just because they kind of faced them, especially after they had that Leech Seed nerf a little while ago, so they tried to at least figure out where they wanted to reintegrate him back into the games, but it seems like they are bringing him back into the forefront for this match. It's definitely going to be nice to give him a little bit of a global presence, especially since the Shadow Demon and the Centaur, they might opt to get some kind of push going here, and they probably want to at least have the towers last a little bit longer until the mid-game so they can get some farm up on the Mirana and some of the other heroes.
Oh yeah, mYinsanity going to ban out the Invoker. No big surprises there. And OsG going to take out the other Mirana combo support in the form of the Bane, so not going to have that option for them. Not sure exactly what they're going to have to set up the arrows for the Mirana. Rubik is still in the pool, should they want to take that up.
10 seconds to go.
Well, with that little bit of a delay, it's kind of hard to talk about a draft that's still in progress. But either way, both teams have fairly fluid lanes as of now. Shadow Demon can go anywhere. It looks like I've dropped you on Skype, so let me see if we can get this call back up before too long. And hopefully the Skype issues will stop being such a big of an issue.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get that Sorted out. Lycan banned out by mYi, not wanting to give away the dire Lycan. He has managed to sneak his way into the second pick phase, so not going to let that one through. No big surprises there from the second ban of mYi.
Yes.
Seconds.
Yep. All right, so hopefully I replugged my mic, came in through. Is it calibrated? Does it not sound as tinny, or is it still giving me
Yeah,
problems?
it sounds a lot better now. I think the
Oh,
Skype
thank
call was
God.
just having
Sorry.
problems.
Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, we're back in here.
Radiant's
Good to go. The Disruptor, he's been an extremely popular pick, and especially when you couple it with the Shadow Demon. You can just there's a lot of lockdown potential to get the disruption. You can set it up for the Static Storm as well as the Kinetic Field. Centaur does have all the stun capabilities. I was looking getting those good to go off the beginning. I'd like to see what do you think they're going to go for the carry options later in this game, though?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think it's going to be up for grabs as of now. We'll just have to see what mYi are going to pick up here.
Seconds.
So far, though, they don't really have any big BKB carriers, so this Disruptor is going to have a decent time against their heroes. Also, Glimpse is very good against the Leap of the Mirana if they do choose to put the Mirana towards the offlane, and they'll definitely have killing potential against her.
Yeah, absolutely. Now with the final, what is this? The final pick? Well, sorry, the third pick going in for mYi. They could definitely do with getting some more supports online since they have gotten quite a bit banned out, but they actually have gotten quite a bit of those carries banned out, especially coming from mYi. Lots of bans getting away from the push, and
Dyer's pick.
they're going to pick up the Enigma, so they're going to have that option ready to go. Some good lockdown on their part, and just a solid all-around hero. It's going to be good to see him online for them.
Yeah, definitely slightly greedy. We'll have to see how active this Enigma is going to be around the map. Also, for mYi, I'm fearing a little bit for this Mirana. They don't have any great setup. Overgrowth is pretty much the only spell that can set up the arrow as of now. But still,
10
if they do
seconds to
have
go.
some good arrows that are on point without the setup, can still be a huge impact
5
in the
seconds.
game. This Mirana is probably going to be heading towards the safe lane to start things off and just have the Treant Protector running the poles and Enigma
Reserve
going through the
time.
jungle.
Yes. Yep. That's pretty much good. They will need to get some kind of lockdown a little bit as far as for setting up those Mirana arrows, and then you got the Slark coming in. He's gonna be. No, I'm not a huge fan of the Slark pick personally. I think they could have gone for some better options. They do have on mYi abilities to lock him down and zone him out. With they do have the Overgrowth. They do have the Black Hole, and they also just had the escape on the Mirana's part to get away from. They pretty much have a counter pounce on her, which is going to help them quite a
10
bit.
seconds to go.
Well, I kind of like this Slark pick here. With the Shadow Demon, they have good setup for the pounce, and the ability to go aggressive is there for OsG, depending on the laning choices for mYi. And with the Enigma on their side, their lane
10
is going to be
seconds to
fairly
go.
weak. Also, with the Treant Protector, doesn't really offer that much in a tri-lane versus tri-lane scenario,
5 seconds.
or even as a dual lane versus a tri-lane. So I can see this Slark snowballing a little bit out of control, but on the same token,
Dyer's
they do have some tools to deal with them, and they're going to go for the Timber Saw here.
Timber Saw. Oh yeah, sorry. I was just saying the Timber Saw. I just haven't seen him in a while, but yeah, they can put him on the off lane. That'll give them some solid room to farm up with. He's going to be nice and mobile, able to get him some good AOE damage across the board, take away some of the stats that Slark is going to gain, and just be a generally hard guy to take down throughout most of this current match.
I think OSG's tri-lane still can kill the Timber Saw, but
10
he's going to
seconds
be,
to go.
I don't know, he'll probably at least be able to get his experience, if nothing else, on the Radiant side.
Seconds.
Does Timber Saw break leash? I'm not sure.
Pick.
Not
Yeah,
Timber Saw, but the Timber Chain.
yeah, Pounces.
Because that will give him a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Pounce is one of those weird spells that has just so many different interactions. I know Mirana's Pounce doesn't get you out of that, but Timber Chain might. I'm not sure. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll wait till it goes live on that part. And then just the final picks coming out from Oslicky and mYi. We'll see what they go ahead and pick up. They did ban out the Wraith King and the Storm Spirit for those final bans, getting rid of those out of the
5
field.
seconds.
Yeah, Storm Spirit would be very scary on the side of OSG. They just don't have a lot of lockdown to deal with them. Pretty much
Reserve
only the
time.
Black Hole to keep the Storm Spirit in place, or if they get a lucky arrow. But either way, won't be an option for OSG to take up. We're probably looking at a mid-hero. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll see what they decide to go for. I don't know. They might decide to go with something a little unorthodox, maybe, but or they might just go with pretty standard mid options here. They do have, what do they have on mYi? Let's see. I'll just sit back in a little bit and you go back to taking care of the good old-fashioned analysis.
Well, it looks like OsG anticipate a mid Mirana with the Wraith King ban coming out in the last phase. Well, Mirana as a mid hero can function very well. You have to get active around the map and try to rotate and get kills once you get the basic levels up in your Starstorm as well as your Arrow. But, I don't know, Mirana doesn't outright win a lot of matchups, and they're going to go for the Magnus.
There's the
here.
Magnus. All right.
Radiant's
A lot of
mid.
lockdown potential on OsG. It's pretty scary. Everyone has something to at least take him down or zone him out for a little while. I really like just that, the team fight potential with that. We'll see what my sanity decides to opt, but they do have lockdown as well. Lots of stuns all across the board. It's going to be a pretty knockout game as far as that's concerned. And they're going to go with the Bloodseeker for the final. They're going to put him mid maybe? Or just put him down in the safe lane and put Mirana mid?
Either one of those options is a possibility for my Insanity. I haven't really watched them play all that much, so I'm not sure which player is going to be taking up the Bloodseeker. Well, we'll just have to see. I'll go ahead and introduce my Insanity. On the Radiant side, we're going to have Grinzine on the Timbersaw, Zmaj LZ Bunara on the Treant Protector, Cole on the Bloodseeker, Bucktop on the Enigma, which will leave joinDOTA on the Mirana.
And for the Dire side, on the Slark in the top lane, we're going to have Inquisitor. And on the Shadow Demon, we're going to have Big Num rocking over there. Currently over, also going to join in the offensive tri-lane, is going to be Obi-Wan Banana, or Banan. And anyways, he's going to be on the Disruptor. Magnus is going to be going mid by Reebok. And then over in the bottom lane, we're going to have Jude on the Centaur, Warrunner off lane.
Well, very good. No big rotations by either team to secure control over the enemy's jungle. We do have an early ward placed out by the Centaur Warner, which will give him vision of the supports, and I don't think this is going to be dewarded. Well, not an extremely
30
common ward
seconds to
spot, but we'll give him some good vision. I don't know, don't think they spotted him placing that one out, and Judo will be able to get back to his lane to start off his block, and should be able to do decently well against this lane coming out from my Insanity. It is going to be the Mirana, as well as the Treant Protector in lane. And without any blocks going on the small camp or the medium camp, Treant Protector probably just going to be pulling up against the Centaur Warrunner.
Yeah, and that'll do a pretty good job at bringing it back, giving
The game is on.
Agog, Dota a little bit of chance to farm up on the Mirana, especially if they can just bring it back to the tower. Centaur's not exactly going to be able to do a whole lot back there. He will get the levels up, though, and once he can get that Stampede ready and online, he can rotate around and help with some other ganks. So I guess they're just going to try and focus on getting him going. They might be able to get some farm out of him a little bit later, as long as it doesn't get too aggressive for my Insanity, but we'll see how that plays out as this game goes along.
Well, yeah, the matchup mid is going to be Bloodseeker versus Magnus, not one that I've seen all that much. I think Bloodseeker will do just fine in this lane. I think any harass coming out from Chomi with the Shockwave will be pretty much negated with the Bloodbath coming out from him, and I don't think there's really any killing potential in that lane. Up in top, Timbersaw is trying his best to soak some experience, but is going to be zoned out a little bit by the Disruptor with the Thunderstrike first.
Yeah, that's going across. It's just going to be this Timber going ahead and just taking on two of them at least. Because right now it's going to be mostly Bignum sitting over in the jungle. I mean, he will be able to join in at times. And it could get a little scary, though, if they get the glimpse back. You know, if Timber were to overextend, they can glimpse him back into that disruption and then set up the pounce and really put some damage on him. But it looks like Timber's just going to go ahead and put a little bit of damage onto Disruptor, reminding him that he is present down there.
Well, so far in the offlane for the Dire side, Centaur Warner has managed to find his level 2. Unlike the Timbersaw, and without the third support in this lane, there's really not a lot they can do to zone out this Centaur, especially with the Treant Protector not getting boots. In fact, an Orb of Venom picked up by the tree. Interesting choice by him, trying to zone out this Centaur Warner, but with the boots on Judo, I don't think it's really going to be an option for him.
Yeah, he's not going for those boots, and I already used up the Leech Seed. He just got the mana back for that. He could use it, but really there's not enough damage output to really do anything with it. They couldn't really, especially get the arrow off with that creep wave that they had. They could try it in a little bit, but even then there just wouldn't be enough damage output to really scare him away. He has used up a good amount of his regen. They're pinging mid, so what's going on over there, though?
Well, Bignum just picked up an Invisibility Rune, wanting to get a kill on this Bloodseeker. He's not incredibly low and does have one Thirst Charge. He might not get a cut out here. Oh, they're not going to throw out the Disruption just yet. Let's see. Bignum, go and cancel the animation.
Ooh, he's going to get in a little closer, though. We might see something out of this, but it looks like he's just going to sit there, wait for him to at least go down the stairs, if possible. Then they're going to pop it in. or he's just going to opt to go ahead and relocate.
In the meantime, we're going to miss the first blood on the Centaur Warner. Didn't actually see that happening, but Enigma going to be able to find the Centaur out in the jungle. I'm not sure exactly how that happened, and not a kill that I expected coming out from the Centaur. Looks like Malphus was enough to secure that one. But with the invisibility rune, Bignum is just going to back off. Looks like they threw a disruption, but to no avail in the middle lane.
Yeah, well, talk about a little bit of a false hope over there in mid lane, but, you know, bottom lane, they were able to take out that Centaur, indeed, getting that first blood. So that's going to definitely help out the farm. How are we looking on those stats? Let's see. We got Slark 14 and 10 taking the lead on the last hits right now. So he's at least getting a decent amount of farm up in the top lane, pretty much unopposed by the Timbersaw.
Yeah, there's not really anything that Grizzine can do to put pressure on this Slark. It's just soaking experience. We'll manage to find his level 3. And maybe Timbersaw will be able to play a little bit more aggressively with the point in living armor now. But either way, Timbersaw not having the best game, but still securing a little bit of experience for himself.
Yeah, he's pretty much going to have to be banking exclusively on experience because there's not really any gold output for him. He's got 2 last hits whatsoever. Lots of pings coming around, though. So maybe we'll see some action. They're going to go on him, maybe. They're dropping the sentry. In just the meantime, are they going to be able to pop the glimpse? There it is. Go ahead.
The follow-up pounce from, well, the Slark will get him fairly low, but Sensei, or rather, Grizzine, will be able to back off with another Timber Chain. Well, I don't know, fairly low probability kill there. They don't have any lockdown other than that pounce, and they just didn't have the damage to get through the Timbersaw. Haystream picked up by the Magnus, doesn't have the level 6 just yet. Almost level 5, in fact, is losing out in experience compared to the Bloodseeker here. Down in bottom, the Tier 1 tower is going to be under some heavy pressure coming out from Bucktop. He has the Eidolons and, well, Centaur, as an offlaner, really doesn't offer anything in the way of counter push and can't really draw the creep aggro off of the tower either. And with these 6 Eidolons, the tower is going to fall very quickly.
Yep, and that's going to be first tower going down in favor of mYinsanity. So that's going to go down. We'll have to say, up in the top lane, poor Timbersaw can't really get any farm, but he can't get the experience, and at least there isn't enough damage output right now from OsG to take him out. So hopefully he'll be able to do what he can to at least pull the creep wave away from the tower, stop that. But it looks like bottom lane's going to continue to push for that tier 2. And we are going to see a rotation, though, from the hasted Magnus. So he's going to come in, but there's going to be a back off from OsG, getting back to safety.
Yep. Well, in the Magnus's absence, Bloodseeker has managed to find himself a little bit more farm. In fact, sitting at the top of the CS board, tied with the Slark at 29 and 6. So we'll have to see how Cole is going to use the farm that he's picked up to try to transition into the mid game.
Yeah, it looks on the net
Down
worth
in bottom, they're
overall,
going to get a stun up onto the Treant Protector under the tower. Judo is going to get a Starfall to the face, and well, that's a Treant Protector for a Centaur. Up in the other side of the map, we are going to see a Timbersaw getting knocked down by the Tri-Lane, just caught out a little too low there. Enigma, well, yeah, I'm going to be
action
able to
across the board.
Yeah, both of the offlaners dying on either side of the map. Well, I think all said and done, OsG are going to be happy with that trade. It was 2 for 1 across the map. With Timbersaw dying, as well as the Treant Protector, and we're going to have a Midas picked up by Ink Visitor. Not sure how I feel about Midas on Slark. I think either getting an early Shadowblade Blink or BKB is usually the better option. In this game, I think Shadowblade would be good. I don't know. Ink Visitor just going to farm up.
Yeah, you could do that. There's the Shadowblade option, but just the fact, I guess they see that they want to take this out a little bit farther in the late game because they might be a little bit scared of the Mirana and the Bloodseeker combo over there. And Enigma is going to be able to pick up that kill onto the Centaur Warrunner down at the bot rune spot. So that's another kill going to mYinsanity. They're doing okay. They got that first blood and they are holding a kill lead. Overall gold graph is putting him almost 3,000 gold advantage, not even 6 minutes in, or 7 minutes in.
Well, yeah, and with the Centaur Warner not being in the lane, Mirana farming out very aggressively. If they TP in, maybe they'll be able to get the kill on her. But with the ultimate as well as the leap, a fairly low probability kill at that. I'm not sure who I actually favor coming out of this early game. I'd say mYinsanity are off to a decent lead. Getting the first blood, they've gotten away with the Enigma in the jungle, getting a lot of farm, as is the Bloodseeker and the Mirana. So I'd say that as far as this early game is concerned, they're getting the better half of it.
And there's the Mirana getting blinks back. The Hustomp's going to pop, and she's going to try and leap out, but it's not going to be a time. Disruption's going to pop. Living Armor is going to get popped onto him, but it's not going to be enough to save Mirana from Disruptor picking up that kill. So good job on OsG for picking up a little bit of a revenge kill. Mirana getting a little too deep, trying to push that tier 2. Might wanted to have backed off, but they ultimately played the blood price for that.
Yeah, the aggressive pushing coming up from Rano was punished by the glimpse, pretty much. Well, for now, the teams are fairly spread out and just looking to get a little bit more farm. No huge aggressive movements down the bottom lane. TP away from the Disruptor, Tree and Protector. Might have been able to get that kill if he didn't TP, but with the TP, Disruptor going to be just fine. Or,
You do have a
yeah, Shadow
Bloodseeker
Demon,
coming
excuse me.
top. Yeah.
Ink
All
Visitor
right.
is
Shadow
stopped up.
Demon. Oh, go ahead.
Has his ultimate on the back lines. We are going to have a Rupture. Going the way of Obi-Wan Banon. Really can't do much. Bloodseeker's just plinking away at him with the living armor. Bloodseeker will be able to back off and make it to safety. Slark should be safe here in this lane. Not really a lot that they can do about him. Well, maybe if they silence him with the Bloodseeker, but Cole is completely out of mana, so Ink Visitor will be fine.
Yep. Yeah, I think overall, though, My Insanity doing a pretty good job, though. They're getting some rotations coming across. They are getting some pickoffs just because OG may need to play a little bit more cautiously to the hill. Their sight, they got at least one ward. Where is it? Well, do they have any wards, actually? Doesn't really, I can't see any. They're pretty much flying blind right now.
Well,
Anyways, yeah, back in the jungle, there's just Magnus. He does have a regen rune on top, but he's just going to go ahead and stack those creeps, get those ready. He's going to start making up for some of that gold. He's about middle of the graph, so let's see what he picks up.
Yeah, I'd assume he's just going straight for that Blink Dagger after the Arcane Boots. Nothing too crazy coming out from him. Obi-Wan Banon playing very aggressively. Or, excuse me. No. Never mind. Both teams are just on their side of the map. Tree and Protector has picked up a smoke. I believe it's just sitting on the courier along with a buckler recipe. Presumably for the Enigma. And that is the case. He's almost going to have his mechanism in about 10 minutes. So good timing for Enigma to get his mechanism. And he's also been involved in 3 kills. So this Enigma has been doing a decent amount of work. Blade Mail is going to be the choice for Bloodseeker. And on the side of OSG, I don't see Slark picking up a BKB incredibly fast. So I can see this Blade Mail working fairly well for this Bloodseeker.
Yeah, this I think this Slark's going a little bit too greedy. Not exactly doing the. He's doing second best on the farm, but overall, he might want to get that BKB online a little quicker, just because once those stuns start coming out, and the haste rune is going to get picked up by Magnus.
Is going to be
oh, here we go.
Held in place by the
Right in
pounce.
the
He's going to be able to Timber Chain. They have a glimpse available, I believe. Obi-Wan Banon hasn't thrown it out. Is level 3, just waiting for the opportunity. They are invised up, and now the Bloodseeker is going to be able to clean up the Disruptor. So that attempt at a kill on the Timbersaw is going to fail, and Bloodseeker possibly looking for more.
And my Insanity probably just loving that thirst. You know, I'm sure OSG trying to escape as hard as they can, but just once you got that thirst factor, they can definitely gun them down. Even with the glimpse, when you've got a really hasted Bloodseeker, he's going to be running so fast, he might be able to catch up with you. And he's been hunting down pretty effectively right now, sitting 2-0 on the kills as well as the Enigma, and they're going to go ahead and push that top tower with pretty much no resistance that OSG can put out in regards to that.
Yeah, the map control on the side of OSG is starting to dissolve. They've been using this Enigma with the Eidolons to push down these tier 1 towers fairly effectively. Also, it's worth noting that the Slark ultimate is cancelled when he is in Thirst Vision range. So very annoying to play up against that. I believe they used a Tango to keep him back up to above health so he could get the ultimate regen back up. Enigma is hanging around, and it looks like my Insanity wants to put some pressure on this tier 2 tower in the top lane. We'll have to see how it's going to work out for them. Chomi does have the ultimate, hasn't thrown it out just yet.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah, and as far as mYi, they've also got both Treant's got his Overgrowth, and the Black Hole is ready to go. So if they want to initiate, they got a lot of lockdown options. Do have to work out for Chomi's reverse polarity, but that is something I think they might be able to. If they can pop at least an Overgrowth at the same time that they pop reverse polarity, they're pretty much going to cancel each other out.
Bottom tower.
Pretty much. Cole is going to TP down to the bottom lane, soak up some farm as that lane was pushing out, and it looks like mid might be the next focus point of the next engagement. Well, let's see. They are waiting up on the high ground. Obi-Wan Banon has a glimpse available. Blink daggers for both teams. We're still waiting on the one from the Centaur as well as for the Magnus. And possibly one for the Enigma, although I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be his choice after the mechanism. Tier 1 tower falling very low. He's going to look for the Chakram Slayer, not going to latch on anybody.
Can they get that deny, though? I don't think they are, and there's going to be Mirana picking that up. So pretty much an easy tier 1 tower in mid. All the tier 1s being completely wiped out on the side of OSG. It's going to allow for mYi a little bit more room to expand and farm, continuing. OsG does put some sight wards out finally, out in that top lane area, but it's a little bit too late. They can farm up a little bit, but at this point, mYi is doing a really good job at dominating and asserting themselves on the push factor, getting that early gold, and you're starting to see that with the net worth chart. Overall gold sitting almost about 7,500 gold in favor of mYinsanity, and the XP graph only about 2,000 in their favor.
Yep, and with Tree and Protector hitting the level 5, it's doubtful that they'll be able to take any more towers with the Living Armor heal. Obi-Wan Banan going to take a decent amount of harass from Goji, but he will be able to back off with that leap.
Yep, and then down in the bottom jungle, they're just going to continue to farm. They're going to have, what was that guy's name? Sorry. Bookdrop as well as Zmaj go ahead and just actually notice there's 2 stand-ins on the side of mYinsanity, so see if that actually affects them too much, but I think they'll be fine. They've clearly been doing a pretty good job throughout this game so far. Bloodseeker just going ahead and continuing to farm, sitting at the top of that network chart, almost 1,000 gold ahead of the second place, which is Mirana. But over in top lane, it looks like we might see a bit of action in just a moment.
I'm not sure they can really get the jump on this Timbersaw. He's hanging around very aggressively, but they've already spent the Stomp and Shadow Demon, excuse me, not going to get in range for Disruption. There's your Blink Dagger online for Judo, but now he's looking for the kill, going to get the Chakram slow. He's going to throw the Centaur Ultimate, and Defensive Disruption should keep him safe for now. He decided to not back through, and now Shadow Demon might be the target of choice. Slark went for the pounce, not going to latch onto the Timbersaw, and he's trying to get a turn here. Ink Visitor falling fairly low, but it's invised up, and, well, no backup for the Timbersaw. He will fall eventually.
And there's the double edge taking the kill for the Centaur. So, you know, even though Timbersaw is a very good evasive hero, but when you got 4 of OsG coming down your throats, it's going to be really hard to escape from that much lockdown potential. But instead, OsG not noticing that there is a Roshan attempt going on by mYinsanity, and they're going to go ahead and wail on this pretty hard. There's no wards from OsG, so there's no sight. They're not aware of this happening. They might be able to pick this up, get it on the Bloodseeker or the Mirana, and just get this ready to go.
Yeah, even though they got the kill on the Timbersaw, was it really worth it? They lost a tier 2 tower. Now Roshan's going to fall to about half health. With the Blink Dagger online for the Centaur, however, it looks like they will back off. And we'll get Vision in the pit with the Kinetic Field, and see that Roshan is not actually being done as of now, so neither team going to initiate in that, and even though Roshan's at about half health, OsG really can't go into the pit.
We do have the Shadow Demon rotating around. He does see that there's a Timber, and there's going to be the Leech Seed popping down. They're going to try and do something, but there's not going to be enough damage output right now, but the Glimpse is going to get, it's going to get Timbersaw out of the picture. Static Field's going to pop, and OsG is going to be able to back off entirely. They're not going to go in for a fight. They're going to pretty much uncontest this Roshan, and it looks like it's about to go down right now. And there's Bloodseeker picking that up.
Even though the kill score is fairly close between these two teams, 5 to 4, mYinsanity have been able to find 3 tier 1s, a tier 2, as well as a Roshan to their name, just getting all of those map objectives, and it really shows in the net worth chart. And I don't see them slowing down anytime soon. They're going to have the Maelstrom online for the Mirana. After the Drums, Aquila going to have some very good farm on her. Up in top lane, they are going to TP back the Timbersaw to try to defend against this push. As far as Timbersaw's items, he has a casual chainmail for now. Do you think that's a blade mail?
It could very well be a blade mail, since especially the way he has been getting focused down, he is going to have to be one of the stronger opponents in these team fights, so that blade mail will definitely keep OsG a little bit more cautious, but I don't think so, because there is a lot of tank ability on the side of OsG. They have the Centaur, they've got the Magnus, and then the Slark really able to, at least during the solo out initiations, as soon as they kill him, he can just go ahead Shadow Dance away. Although, I know what you're talking about with the Thirst, it does cancel that. However, I've heard that if you use Tranquil Boots,
well, in the meantime, nice disruption, but it was actually mid-lead, so Mirana going to be able to get it back. There's an RP going to land onto 3, I believe. No, only 2. And will they be able to catch them out? The Static Field is there, but now the Black Hole going to catch out 3. This almost instantly canceled. Now the Slark is going to pounce. Inkvisitor trying to finish off the Enigma, and he will be able to. Here comes the Chakram for the Timbersaw on the backlines, trying to clean up some of these kills. Magnus will be the first to fall, and now the Disruptor going to be in a bit of a pickle here. Mirana on the backlines is being able to run away, and with the Urn Charge, one more Chakram thrown out, they'll be able to secure that kill, and 4-for-1 trade at the end of the day.
Yeah, that was pretty big. mYinsanity, once again, just establishing themselves as the dominant factor here. That Black Hole really didn't mean much, considering it got canceled after about a second, but the Overgrowth was the good lockdown spell, and then they just had a really good damage output. They didn't even have to worry about the Aegis. Bloodseeker, I think he's got the Courier coming out with S and Y on that, so yep, he'll be race car build in just a moment. They're going to go ahead and push that tier 2.
Yeah, there's just very little that OsG can do. They almost got the Mirana, but in the end she was able to get away. I believe Enigma was the only one to fall in that last engagement. Slark focusing on him fairly heavily, and speaking of Slark, he's rushing towards that Scotty, and he's just going to be locked down throughout all of these fights. I don't know. Even if he got a BKB, it's really not the best time. They are going to glimpse back Cole, but even if they get him, it's only an Aegis. He's down to about half. Now he pops the Blade Mail. It will lose the Aegis here, Inquisitor. Down about a third health. Not sure if they're going to be able to get the kill on him again. They will start out with a disruption. Well, blink forward, looking for the Seer. They're going to get him back behind the Tier 2 tower. Follow-ups done by Judo. Very well coordinated there, getting the second kill on the Bloodseeker.
Well, it's good that they were able to get that Bloodseeker, not only blow the Aegis, but get that kill, because Bloodseeker was being a really big nuisance to their team. At 4-0, it's going to feed them a little extra gold. It's going to get 558 over to the Centaur, giving them the farm that he's desperately pretty much needed. He's going to start getting that Hooded Finance online soon, which will definitely help against a little bit of the burst damage that's coming from him.
Well, in the middle lane, we do have a Tree Protector. He's invised up. He is holding on to a rune, so he's not tied down to the trees, and it looks like he's stalking Obi-Wan Banan. They are rotating the Enigma in Kinetic Field. They know he's there, Sentry on the ground. And the Tree Protector will just back off here. Nobody's going to die.
Yeah, good, nice Sentry from Disruptor, just being a little paranoid, and it's actually paying off. You know, he realizes he's in the trees. It's not exactly the most safe place. There's actually a decent amount of sentries. There's about 4 across the field from what I can see, ready to go. So they are at least aware of something that might happen on the side of mYi, but they're going to go ahead and push mid tower. They're going to have pretty much a free tower there. Are they going to continue the push? They're just going to back off. They're probably just going to clean up this creep wave and back off.
I'd say they back off. Magnus has RP online, and 5-man RP can definitely turn a fight. Tier 1 tower on the top lane is also under some decent pressure from the creeps. It's a little TP back and just farm up a little bit more. They're taking a little bit of control over the OsG jungle. Enigma going to clear up the big camp. Well, so far they haven't caught anybody out. Chomi waiting on the high ground. They've spotted out the Tree Protector as well as the Enigma. They might be able to initiate into this. Well, nobody's in the vicinity other than the Magnus. They have TP back the Centaur. Maybe they'll be able to get some kills. There's the RP to start things off. Where's the Blink Hoofstop? There's the Blink Hoofstop. Now with the double edge follow-up, they're going to be able to get 2 kills in the jungle.
Nice cleanup. Very nice cleanup from OsG. Just sitting there patiently on the ledge, paid off, gave enough time for Centaur to pop over. And then really just the damage output between the two was enough to take out the Enigma and the Treant quite nicely. So good job on OsG, just being aware of the position of my Insanity and finally getting that kill. Gonna put a little bit of harass on
Rupture going on to Judo. He's held in place with Chakram. Nothing he can do. Static Storm Kinetic Field will delay things for now. Don't have a way to cancel that TP. Obi-Wan Banan will be able to make it out. Very close for him, but that TP was well timed by the Disruptor. They did lose the Centaur in the middle lane.
Yeah, wow. Sorry, there's just action all across this match. This match is pretty much a global fight. I mean, there's been bloods across the map simultaneously. And down in the bottom lane, we are going to see a little bit more engagement. I think now they're going to back off. Never mind, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Timbersaw really can't go for the kill on Inquisitor. Has the ultimate, has a Scotty, decently tanky, and well, Magnus has managed to find himself a mechanism for his team. It's fairly delayed, coming at about 20.5 minutes. But still, will give them a little bit more of an edge in this next team fight. Maybe they'll be able to take one. They need to wait for the cooldowns of RP, which is going to be on cooldown for another 35 seconds before they can really take a fight. Static Storm is also on cooldown for about that same amount of time. But if they are able to get a decent RP with like 3 people with the Static Storm on top and Kinetic Field to help clean up, they should be able to win a fight here. It's not over for OsG.
No, not by any means, especially if they can continue to get couple initiations. Like right here, they're going to go across. Rupture's going to pop onto Obi-Wan Banana, and they're going to drop the Static Field, coming across. They're going to get the kill. Bloodseeker getting out Disruptor, and then there's going to be the Hoof Stomp popping on to Jamraz. He's going to go down. Magnus getting the kill on the Treant Protector. 1-for-1 trade. mYi backing off as OsG continues to push on their drums. Are going to pop. Bloodseeker getting caught out a little bit. He might go down. Here's the stun going across onto him. Arrow's going to pop into Judo, but it's not going to be enough to get away. Slark is going to get the kill on that. OsG, Judo's going down as well from the Starstorm. Rana getting a double kill there. Shadow Demon going down as well. There goes Slark popping the ult, trying to get away. Bloodseeker's buying back, but will he be able to teleport in? Here comes a continued return push from my Insanity coming across, and there's a glimpse. Good on Disruptor, giving a little bit of space for Slark to escape there.
With RP down, however, my Insanity are free to take this Tier 2 tower and might even just go high ground at this point. Static Storm wasn't thrown out in that last engagement, so Obi-Wan Banan is going to have that for the high ground defense. Let's see, Roshan timer, we still have a minute before we see when it's actually going to respawn, but mYi going to take that tier 2 tower for pretty much free. Not sure if that buyback from Cole was really necessary, but it's not going to hurt him too much. Still looking okay as far as net worth is concerned, and well, they're pinging out mid. Obi and Banan will just back off into the base, and OsG for now are completely bottled up.
Yeah, they're ready to go. I think, let's see, how much longer is on that Roche timer? It looks like it's might be coming in the next couple minutes or so. I still haven't figured out that clock. You probably can provide a little bit more insight on that. And there's going to be a pause coming out from OsG.
Well, as far as the Roshan timer is concerned, we have about 40 seconds before we see the 8 to 11, where in that range it is going to respawn. As far as item pickups, Timbersaw, instead of going for Blade Mail, going to pick up the Bloodstone after a casual Chainmail. We'll give him a decent amount of armor, I guess, was his thought process behind that. But, well, with the Bloodstone, Timbersaw's stamina spells all that much more, and even with the slow start, has been able to catch up nicely.
Yep, and fun fact, Timbersaw actually being the #1 purchaser of the Bloodstone. But yeah, that's Chainmail. I don't know if he almost bought that just to psych out OsG. Who knows? That or was just casual, just wanted a little bit more of that whopping 5. And it looks like we're going to be ready to unpause this and get back into the game. The positioning-wise, it looks like Enigma's a little bit far out. Not like there's a whole lot that can be done on the side of OsG. Judo does have the blink. He could probably get over and get a hoof stomp, but there wouldn't be a whole lot of follow-up from the Magnus.
Yeah, well, still waiting on, I believe, mYi to give the okay to go. So we might be here for a little bit longer. Well, we are going to have the Gs coming in for mYi, so well, let's see if there is going to be initiation. I don't think so. OsG, there's really not much they can do. In fact, their Judo, he's playing very aggressively here, and he might get caught out. No arrows thrown out, so not going to be able to get that kill. And for now, mYi are just going to back off, push out the middle lane with the Eidolons.
Speaking of Mirana right now, so she has the recipe for the Majolna, she has the Maelstrom up, but she's also sitting on this Ultimate Orb. I mean, I'm not sure if she wants to, she just picked it up for casually before she can build into the Manta. Why not just go straight for the Majolna? But I guess it's been working out for mYi. Overall, it's just an interesting progression on the item pickup for her.
Yeah, I think she was thinking of going for the Manta style, or possibly even, yeah, probably the Manta. But after that last couple of fights, she found herself with enough gold to pick up Mjolnir, so she'll go ahead and finish that one up. Usually casual item, Yasha is better than the Ultimate Orb first if you're working towards the Manta style. So maybe she's considering a Linken's against the Disruption as well as the Glimpse, but I quite doubt it. I don't think Linken's is good here.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to find any game-breaking, meta-breaking strats here today. I think she's probably going to end up going for that Manta. Yeah, I agree. The Yasha would have been a better start off of this, but I guess she just enjoys the color of the orb, and they're just going to go ahead and have that sit in her inventory in the meantime. Magnus is going to pick up that Illusion Rune, and it looks like Mirana is going to leap out to safety.
Yeah, but I'm not even sure if she would have been in a lot of trouble. Even if he did jump on her and drop the RP, I'm not sure they would have had enough follow-up. Maybe with the Centaur there, they could have gotten that kill. Either way, here comes the push from mYi. The Roshan timer, it is going to be a fairly long run. In fact, that might be max time on the Roshan timer. We're going to have to wait another 2 minutes before that's back up. So I guess that favors OsG, as they just don't have the map control to contest that as of now.
Yeah, that Roshan's going to be pretty big, and there's not really a whole lot OsG can do in the meantime for that. But I just took a look at the gold graph, and we're looking over 14,000 gold in favor of mYi. That's pretty massive. That's almost reached the point of no return, but I think OsG, if they can, at least fight on the high ground, get the lockdown spells they need, and if they can get some flawless lockdown and eliminate, at least get rid of the Enigma or something before they can get the hole off, they might be able to come back from this.
Yeah, also, the XP graph isn't looking all that bad for them. About, like, what, a 4,000 will actually Slark. Going to find out the Enigma here. Here comes the Overgrowth to hold him in place. Now the RP spent on 2. Will they be able to clean this up? They're trying for it, and with the Skewer, they will be able to get 1. Treant Protector is walking away under the guys of the Moonlight Shadow, and Sentry was dropped a little bit late. Looks like that's going to be all that was spent. Enigma dying for the RP. I think mYi are actually going to be okay with that, because with that, they really don't have the tools, to contest this next Roshan that will be respawning in about 30 seconds.
And blowing that RP for just the Enigma may be a little bit too aggressive for them. not really worth it because without that RP, the initiation factor just isn't quite there with OsG. Sure, they got a disruption, they got the leash, and they even got the stomp, but it's just not the same without a nice 5-second RP.
Well,
sorry, not 5-second, 3-second. Completely wrong on that.
oh, that's fine, at least for now. The lanes are going to be pushed out by mYi and Sanity. Top is being pushed by the Mirana. Mid taken up by the Tree Protector, and well, bottom was naturally pushing on its own. Slark has picked up his BKB, so maybe in this next team fight he'll be able to stand a little bit more aggressively up against the Timbersaw. We'll have to see when he's going to be able to time that. He'll probably have to use the BKB to get out of the overgrowth from the Tree Protector, but even then they have the black hole to drop on top of him to stall out the BKB usage from the Slark and probably focus him down with just the physical right clicks coming out from the Mirana.
Yep, and Roshan is finally up and ready to go. OsG spotting that out with the static storm, or sorry, the static kinetic field. They are going to probably go on that in a little bit, if at least make themselves aware that my Insanity probably will if they don't. And it looks like over here Slark trying to escape, but there's going to be the leech seed popped on here in the overgrowth, but he's going to pop Dark Pact at the perfect time and completely walk away from that.
Yeah, well, the arrow was off the mark from the Mirana, so very low probability killing the Slark. He was playing very aggressively, but now earned up, and with the extra regen, while he was out of vision, he's back up to full and ready to fight in this Roshan pit. Magnus does have the RP available for this next fight. They're going to start out with a Malefice onto Obi-Wan Banan. He's going to be defensively disrupted after the arrow. Don't think they'll be able to follow that one up. Well, a fairly tense moment while we're waiting for this initiation to go down. Slark is waiting on the high ground on the other side of the river, and maybe they'll be able to find him out in a choke. That would have been a beautiful RP, but Magnus wasn't in position. Obi-Wan Banan going to throw at the kinetic field, leaped over by the Mirana, and now they're going to be able to burst him down. Goji going to be able to pick up that kill, and without the static storm, I'm not sure OsG really can defend against this. Enigma going to put some pressure on the top lane, and well, mid is pushing out by the Slark, and I don't think they'll be able to back off to Roshan, but with the Slark not there, looks like they're going to push forward. RP just spend onto Goji alone, and now they're going to try to skewer him back, but he really doesn't do much. Rupture onto the Slark. He tried to leap away, but now he's losing a lot of HP because of it. Now the Timbersaws join the fray. BKB popped by Inkvisor, but very late, and now he's going to fall. Buyback spent by the Slark. Maybe. Does he have that available? Not sure, but on the backlines of the fight, we're still looking for more. Maybe. They're diving fairly aggressively. It looks like Chomi is going to fall. No RP, really can't do anything in there. Black hole, solo on Ink Visitor, and now it's pretty much over. He spent the buyback, and now he's going to die. Judo trying to fight up against this caught between 5 enemy heroes, and he's also going to be bursted down. Goji on a triple kill. Now Bignum, the next to fall possibly, does throw out the Purge, and one more auto attack ultra kill for Goji. Dota Disruptor just going to hide in the well, and GG called out by Bignum.
All right, yeah, that's that last team fight pretty much put the nail in the coffin. My Insanity do an excellent job at just asserting map control, taking towers, getting lots of gold, getting a huge farm advantage, and that ultimately was able to just, coupled with the lockdown ability, push My Insanity into a victory in this first best of 3 game.
Well, thank you for joining me. I've been GradusV, and he's been Oxald. We're going to have more games. This is a best of 3 in the Division 1 to 2 playoffs. You can follow this channel, Heflatv 2, as well as the primary channel, Heflatv 1. You can also find some more English coverage on twitch.tv/Heflamoke. Also, make sure to follow on Facebook, and you can subscribe on Twitch as well. There will be some subscriber emotes being released soon, so stay tuned. I'll go back to the next lobby, and we should have the next game before too long.